shows every Sunday.
Here we go.
What up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I would ask that you give that person a crisp high five. But if you're being socially cautious and anything like that, you don't want to touch hands with another person, you can go ahead and pick your social media app of choice and send that person a well-crafted DM to tell them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Ramblers with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at The 3R Show. And you can find video interviews on YouTube by searching 3R Show, and video game content, which I haven't done in a while, on either Facebook Gaming or Twitch. Just search for 3R Show. And for anything and everything that I've forgotten to mention, you can go to randomrob.com. Speaking of randomrob.com, you can find many different ways to help support the show, like merchandise and things like that. Also, another way to help support this show and a thriving and up and coming business is to support the sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. If you go to hooksrub.com, you can get 15% off your order when you use promo code RANDOM. 15% off your order of these delicious herbs and spices for your chickens and your steaks and your pork chops and your green beans, tomatoes, ham, lamb, hog, maul, all that other stuff. Anything that you can think of to eat, to put down your mouth hole and crap out your butthole, you can put Hooks, Rubs, and Spices on it. So go to hooksrub.com and use that promo code RANDOM. So yeah, I just came back from a wedding. Freaking awesome. I haven't been... Before I even talk about this wedding, I can't even recall when it was the last time that I ever been to a wedding or invited to one and everything. But I do remember from the last time that I went that it was a very lengthy ceremony. You know, we got in there, everybody, found an area for them to sit on. You sit on either the bride's or the groom's side of the place. You sit there, you wait for it to kind of fill in and everything. You hear the music, the groomsmen and the groom come out and all that other stuff. And then you hear the music indicating that the bride is coming down the aisle. And you stand, they come in, and then you sit down, and then they sing words to each other, and then they vow, and there's music and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, it was a lengthy process the last time, and I'm kind of tired right now. So please forgive me if I'm stumbling and stammering and, going incoherently all over the place. But, yeah, it was just a big to-do. But today I went to a peer of mine's wedding, fellow brother in arms in the podcasting world and whatnot. I have formed a friendship with him over these years and everything that have been in broadcasting. So I got invited to the wedding and everything, and it was a hoot. First off, it was delayed a whole year because of the pandemic. And so it's been a whole year since the last time they were supposed to do this. So when it came up again this year proper, like it was today as I record this, I already knew in advance. I was like, all right, I know when it is, blah, 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 and whatnot. But as you've heard through many of previous episodes, most lately, that, my work has had me working all kinds of crazy hours and shifting around and all kinds of other stuff. So when it came up, I had to replace somebody that had a clearance, and I had to, just pretty much fill in on their spot while they were gone. They had to go take care of personal stuff and everything. So they was like, all right, we need you Monday through Sunday. Well, Monday to Monday, actually, So 7.5 days straight, I had to fill in, which is no problem because I would have had a nice recovery period after that. So I was like, yeah, no problem. But I look at the calendar and I was like, wait a minute, there is a problem. I got to go to the wedding on Sunday. So I call up and I was like, hey, I know there was a sudden change and everything. I had to fill in on the spot, but I can do any day that you need. But Sunday, I can't do it. Well, I have a problem doing this Sunday because I have a wedding to attend. So he's like, well, I'll see what I can do, my supervisor, and I'll let you know. So I didn't hear back from him that day. So the next day, show up to work and, we just chitter-chatting and everything like that. I can't do it, pretty much. So I'm sitting there like, fuck. So I didn't, because, when somebody does their wedding, they pay for everything and whatnot. I mean, and you RSVP, that's money they spent on you to come, for food and, to cover your portion of your visit or whatever. So I was like, fuck, they spent money on me. I bought them gifts, but that's not, that's neither here or there. But I'm like, somebody spent money on me to attend their most special day in their life. And I want to be there and whatnot, especially if somebody invites you to one of these things and whatnot. So the whole week I was stressing, and on freaking Friday and everything, wedding was on Sunday. Friday, I got desperate. And I was like, I found another guy that works in our crew that has a clearance that could take my spot for a couple of hours, not the whole day, just a couple of hours. I can just leave the shift early to attend the wedding. So I was getting desperate. I went to the ATM. I pulled out $100 cash money. And my strategy, my pitch was going to be, I was like, hey, I got $100 right here, cash money in your pocket. If you can come in on Sunday evening so I can leave early to attend the wedding. And I was like, just to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit. I mean, I'm giving you $100 cash in hand. Plus, since you were supposed to be off anyway, these hours that you are overtime for you. That was my sales pitch. We make a decent amount of money per hour. So to come in and get some overtime money in that's beaucoup. So I'm fairly new to this position where I am. So I know people by name and face only. I don't, I haven't worked there long enough to, get used to personalities and everything. They haven't really, they don't really, know me well yet. So it was just kind of hard to ask more or less a stranger, to, hey, come work for me so I can go do this thing. So, I was nervous about asking and everything. I was just like, I'm sweating bullets at the whole thing anyway, because it's Friday, things on Sunday. And it's like, I don't have any other options and everything. So he got to talking about, because he's a out of towner as well. He came from somewhere else to work down here. And he was talking about, I got to make this money here, yada, yada. I was like, well, that was my end. I was like, speaking of money, I got $100 cash money, just at the pitch. As I rattled it off of my head, I was like, hey, man, I got $100 cash. If you can come in early for me, so I can leave and go do this thing, yada, 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 yada. He's like, oh, man, there ain't no problem. He's like, just clear it with the supervisor and it's cool. You don't even have to pay me any money. So I immediately call my supervisor, tell him what's up. And he's like, are you sure that's what's going on? I hand the guy the phone, my coworker, and he was like, yeah, it's no problem. And got it done. Saved $100. But I in turn, I did spend it because Friday night, me and all the guys that was going to be at the wedding, we got together and kind of hung out. So the $100 that was spent to go to the wedding, I spent on food and drink for, I guess it was more or less of like a kind of a bachelor party, but not really, but it was all good. And today, Sunday, when we went to the wedding and everything, the invitation says be there at 3:30. So we showed up at a little after 3. There was a little line outside to get everybody in, signing the guest book and everything, taking a complimentary gift from the groom and soon to be bride and whatnot. And we all get in there and we sit down and, I go around and shake hands with the peoples and everything, reintroduce myself, introduce my wife because Mrs. B. Rob came with me. And by the way, Mrs. B. Rob looked stunning. And she got compliments the whole evening about her shoes. She had some, she chose to wear red to a wedding, which, it's whatever, and red is my favorite color. So to support her, I wore red as well. And, so we get there and people complimenting on her red and gold high heels and everything and all this other stuff. And I was like, that's my baby. And I would kind of chime in or whatever. She's like, oh, yeah, coordinating, yeah, matching or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, she dressed me and everything. I kind of follow her lead and whatnot, giving praise to Mrs. B. Rob, as you should. And it was cool. So we sitting down after we done shook hands and everything and introduced ourselves. Or I introduced Mrs. B. Rob. We sit down and it's probably about 5 minutes to 3:30. 3:30 hit on the dot. Groomsmen are getting in position. Bridesmaids are getting in position. The groom comes down, takes his position. Bride comes down, escorted by the father, in position. Now, this was the awkward part because traditionally, the guys and the gals, they get in position. Then when the bride comes in, they play the music. Everybody stands up. They observe and everything. She takes her position. Everybody sits down. Ceremony begins. So this, by far, was the quickest ceremony I have ever attended in my life. When the bride got in position, because that was a big hullabaloo right there. It wasn't the traditional dun 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 dun, all that stuff. They had their own custom music or whatever that they had, their own playlists. So people were confused or, just unsure if they should stand or not. So it was like the one brave person stood up, then another person stood up, and then they all stood up. So usually before the whole shindig kicks off, if everyone is standing, you would expect the officiator to tell everybody to sit down so he can do his thing. No. Soon as she got in position, the father stepped away to his position. Your man started kicking it. Oh, this is such and such. This is such and such. They love each other. Yada, 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 yada. He was just gone. And everybody's still standing. Because it's kind of, we'll wait till you get into it a little bit. He'll say his opening words and then he'll tell us to sit down, right? No, he never did. He just went on, and he started getting to the vows. And we're still standing. Which, after a while, because I got my own physical ailments, leg get to shaking and whatnot. My wife was like, should we sit down? So it was kind of like when we was debating on if we need to stand up. That one brave person sat down, then another person sat down, and then I made the executive decision to sit down, and Mrs. B. Rob sat down. But it was less than half of us sitting down. I would. It was like a small amount of the people that sat down. Everybody else stood up the whole time, and I just felt weird in that situation. It was almost like, how people feel about people sitting or kneeling for the national anthem or some shit like that. That was just like, I don't know. I just felt weird sitting while the whole thing was getting officiated and whatnot. But I was like, fuck it. I'm here. And so it started at 3:30. By 3:33, it was done. It was that quick. 3:30. I only know about 3:33 because a couple walked in and they already put the rings on fingers and they were saying their vows to each other. And no less than 3:35, the whole thing was done. The whole ceremony was done. The wedding ceremony was done. So they carted us out. We went out to the little cocktail area and we had drinks until the family and everybody finished taking their pictures. And after they finished taking their pictures, we went upstairs to get the food. After we ate the food, we went down to the main floor again, and everybody, they got their first dance as husband and wife. Then the groom and his mother danced, and then the bride and her father danced. Then after that, it was chaos. Food and drink all over the place. They had a little nifty little picture booth in there, and we took all kinds of pictures and everything, and we just kind of hung out and enjoyed the evening. But less than 5 minutes, or 5 minutes on the dot, the whole ceremony was, and everything. And I quite appreciated that. It was so quick that I couldn't even process what was happening, whatever, because I thought it was going so quickly because they had more shit to do, in regards to the ceremony. But nah, that was it, son. It's non-traditional as fuck, which I love. I like that shit. But as I stated, it was a brother in arms, fellow podcast and everything. So when I went there, I dressed up in my dress clothes, and I had the podcast shirt under my dress shirt and everything. There was the photo booth there. We talked about. So everybody got together and we was taking pictures and things. And it's a countdown photo booth. It's like 3 different photos. You know how photo booths are. So first picture, I was in it. Second picture, I was kind of stepping out of it because by the third picture, I was going to try to run to the front, rip my dress shirt open, and reveal that I had the podcast shirt under it. Didn't work out that great. Matter of fact, it didn't work out at all. So in the freaking chronological order of the photos, I'm in the photo, then I'm leaving out of the photo, and then by the third photo, I'm not in the photo because I didn't make it to the front of the camera in time to reveal the shirt. So yeah, it didn't work out the way I thought it would, but everybody knew that I had the shirt on. I don't think the groom knew because he wasn't around, but everybody that was there, seen it. It was kind of seen through my shirt and everything. So yeah. And then I tweeted about it, that I wore the shirt, and the groom just liked my tweet. So now he is aware that I wore the podcast shirt under my dress clothes. So yay, mission complete. But congratulations to the bride and groom. And man, they got a long way to go because this shit's for life, homie. Death do you part. And everything. And so, the festivities went on and everything. And they did this thing, after the, hold on, we got a company. Yes, ma'am. Oh, what do we got? Hot. I'm getting fed right now. What is that? Brussels sprouts and what? Sweet potato? It's good. Sorry, you're gonna chew in the mic. That was Miss B-Rob feeding me food. I'm always a guinea pig or whatever. If she makes something new, she make me taste it first to get a gauge if she got to put some more hooks, rubs, and spices in it. Hooks, rubs, and spices. Get 15% off your order. Use promo code random. But damn, that was delicious. I had to get some of that after this. But anyway, after the bride and groom, the dances and everything, the son and the daughter, what I said earlier, goddammit. What the DJ asked, the MC asked, could all the married couples come to the dance floor? So he did this thing to where while the music was playing, we was dancing and everything, he would shout out a number range and everything. And if you've been married that long, you stay and you dance. So he's like, how many people have been married for 1 year? If you've been married for 1 year, go ahead and keep on dancing. So nobody left the dance floor. And from what I can recall, the dance floor was packed. The space, it was probably maybe, I'm just going to say for the sake of argument, it was probably more than that, but it was definitely 10 married couples out there on the dance floor. It was more than that, but I'm just going to say 10 for the sake of argument. So there's like however many people who've been married 1 year stay dancing. You know, everybody pretty much stayed. Then it was like how many people been married 3 years? Keep dancing. I think one couple left. They hadn't been married 3 years. And then, you know, he went on. He was like 5 years. I don't think nobody moved. 7 years. A couple of people left. A couple of groups left. Then he went to 10 years. And some more people left. Like a good chunk of the people that were on the floor left. And me and Mrs. B. Rob was there just dancing and everything like, oh, I say, here we are. Because, you know, they had some older couples there, so we know we weren't going to beat them. But for the most part, for the younger couples, we had them beat. So they got to 12 years. We were still in. They said 13 and above, we were still in. Then they went to 15. Of course, we had to get out then because me and Ms. B. Rob been together married 13 years, been together 14 years. So we get put out and then we watch 3 other couples on the floor. So at this point, there was like 20 years. Those 3 couples stayed there. 23 years. Those couples stayed out there. There's like shit. DJ was like, 25 years. They stayed. Then I think they said 27. Then one of the 3 couples left. Then it's down to these other 2 couples. They just dancing. One couple they're like, nobody gonna beat me. Beat us or whatever. So they was just dancing like we ain't going nowhere. So got to 35 years. Both of the couples are still there dancing. Got to 40 years, both of the couples still dancing. So the DJ finally was like, all right, you just stop right here. How many years y'all been married? And both of those couples had both been married 47 years. 47 years. So that's freaking amazing. They've been together longer than I've been alive, you know? It's crazy. So congrats to them for that. And it was just a great experience and everything. I'm just, you know, you can hear it in my voice. I'm tired. I'm drained and everything. Work today. I got some stuff I need to take care of at home. And when I say at home, I mean in my place of origin with my parents. I have to go home and handle some family things and whatnot. Parents are having some health issues that I need to go, you know, check on and talk about and whatnot. So I'll be probably out of commission the rest of this week and everything, being down in Louisiana, taking care of that. But it's all good, baby. We gonna make it. We gonna get through it and we gonna persevere and yada, yada, yada. Motivational words. I'm about to go the fuck to sleep. Probably after I eat some of that delicious grub Mrs. B. Rob made. And yeah, I'm tapping out. Y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening to the show, interacting and everything. I put out a tweet earlier today, I believe it was. If you got the app Time Hop or anything akin to that, to where like You know, it shows you the anniversary of a picture that you took or a post that you made and everything like that. I think today I got one in Time Hop, and it was me talking about I'm 2 episodes away from episode 100. And that was, according to Time Hop, that was 4 years ago. And here I am as I stand today. I believe this episode right here, as I recorded, as I looked through my phone trying to scramble, this episode is technically out of the numbered episodes. It's episode 300. 300 episodes, you know, ordered, chronological order. This is episode 300. But I have well over 300 episodes recorded because every year on my birthday, I have done a special episode with Mrs. B. Rob called Ask Miss B. Rob, to where you all send in questions for her to answer. It's pretty much her episode for my birthday. Also, I think for every year on the anniversary of this show, I have done an episode, I believe, for every year. So there's anniversary episodes, there's special episodes for Ask Miss B. Rob. Those aren't numbered in the episode order and everything. But as far as the ones that I've been counting and numbering from 1 all the way up until this very moment, episode 300, that's how many they have been. So it's just January will be 5 years of this, man. 5 years I've been doing this internet broadcast thing, which is, I feel like, is a speck of dust in the wind compared to the RBR Weekly Wrestling Talk, one of the podcasts I was representing tonight at the wedding. They've been around for 16 years and everything. So my 5 compared to 16 years plus is just like a little speck in the wind. But, you know, who knows? I might be around that long. And if they're still around, oh Lord, that's going to be a long running podcast. But anyway, the future is for tomorrow. I'm thinking about today, and today I am tired, and today I am appreciative of all of you that listen. I'm also humbled to be invited to a wedding, and, you know, and to be considered a peer, a friend, and, you know, invited into the circle, the inner circle. And yeah, I just feel good right now. You know, other things barred, I feel great. I feel good. Just physically tired. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at 3R Show. You can find me on Instagram at the 3R Show. Everything else, man, just go to randomrob.com. You want to support the show, get some merch. It's all there. Shenanigans. Love you. Bye-bye. See you next time.